Good afternoon, all. And as Siju just mentioned, payments is something which is very close to all of us, right? Because before here, whether we are on the service provider side or we are a brands or we are a players, end of the day, we all are consumers. And when we go to any merchant and we try to make payments, and when something works or doesn't work, okay, that gives us, a lot of issues. So in this panel, and I have got a really interesting mix, wherein we have three panelists are from the merchant side, and I have Arun Goyal from the service provider side, that is PayU. Okay. And so to start with, I would request maybe each one of you to just introduce yourself and tell us maybe in 1 minute, 2 minutes, what your brand or stands for. Okay.
Very good morning to everyone. Very happy to be participating this morning, and I'm sure you all are having a good time. I'm Pranav Malhotra, the CEO and founder of a brand called True Native. We're a direct-to-consumer nutrition brand. About a quarter ago, we had some acquisition from Imami Group. We are starting out to build our entire D2C channel and omni-channel presence, and our basic goal is to change the nutritional landscape of India. If you go out to see, the nutritional landscape of India is quite poor. We are the coronary capital of the world, the diabetes capital of the world. Somewhere we have to blame our food habits for the same, right? So we are trying to bring about a change with food nourishing solutions. And it is just the beginning of the journey. I'm sure you all will get to hear a lot more about True Native in the times to come. And thank you for hearing me out this morning.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Arun. I'm Director Sales with PayU. I've been with them for almost 6 years now. PayU, as you all know, we are the basically process the payments for all our enterprise clients and SMB. We basically, the payments world right now is is going out from one tipping point to the other, and we are trying to build and bridge all the gaps in terms of checkout experiences and power all the possible payment flows for all our customers in Indian ecosystem.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. I'm Abhishek Negi, co-founder of Eggoz. Eggoz is a brand of eggs. We are building a brand in a space which is severely underpenetrated. India consumes eggs worth $12 billion every year, around 30 crore eggs on a daily basis. But majority of it is unpackaged, untraceable, and from our point of view, not safe for consumption, as these eggs are transported over, are produced with bad practices and are also transported over bad supply chain practices. So we are building a brand with the promise of freshness, with herbal and feed, and deliver to the consumer with an omni-channel approach. We're trying to build the next Amul here. Currently, we are available in 12 cities in India, including 3 metros, and over the course of years, we are gearing up for a pan-India expansion and to make Eggoz a household name. Thank you.
Hi everyone, Pradeep Krishna Kumar here. I'm the co-founder of Zook. We are a global lifestyle brand proudly built from India. Currently doing 100% vegan, so we are a PETA-approved vegan brand and a proudly Indian brand. Currently doing premium bags, wallets and accessories. We have about 1 lakh plus happy customers who've supported us through thick and thin. In fact, I've seen a couple of folks here carrying our bags as well. 2 things, like I said, one is, as a PETA-approved vegan brand, we're very conscious about building a more responsible, cruelty-free sort of products. And second is, we're a proudly Indian brand, not just because products are made in India, but also very Indian in the look and feel. In fact, last year when Prime Minister Modi went to the US, some of our bags went as gifts as well when he met global CEOs. And we're a pre-Series A funded business backed by Stellaris Venture Partners, Titan Capital, as well as founders of 3 phenomenal D2C brands, which is Mamaearth, Beardo, and Wow Skin Science. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. So I think we got now the context what each of our merchant is into, and let us start with the basic, the fundamental question: how a merchant decides which payment gateway or payment methods that he should adopt to. Okay. So maybe I will start with Abhishek, because Abhishek, do you believe in putting all your eggs in the same basket or multiple baskets?
So, Vinay, in our case, we are a omni-channel distributed company, right? That means that we are not only delivering eggs directly to the consumers and we are collecting payments directly, but we are also going through retailers like kiranas and modern trades and everything. So our mix of it is depending on the use case. So for consumers, we are the main criteria is that the failure rate should be 0. And there should not be any failure, and it should be a seamless experience for customers. But when we come to the kirana side and to the general trade side, where we are catering through more than 2,000 kirana on a daily basis, the main thing is customization and how can the platform or the service provider can provide us tools where we can provide an ease of payment for that kirana wala who can pay through his Paytm wallet or through his UPI wallet. And penetration of these UPI payments are increasing day by day. So that is a main criteria that we keep is low failure rates and also customization to our requirements.
But that means you work with a single payment service provider or you work with multiple providers?
For now, as we are working with multiple, but we do, like our business to be centered around the player who can provide us the right kind of customization and service. So at the end of the day, what matters for us is that the right kind of customer experience get transmitted to the customer. And that can only happen if we as a brand are able to collect payments on time and are able to manage our working capital. So that is important for us. But yes, on a day-to-day basis, we do maintain a split of different providers.
Okay. So Pradeep, do you agree with this? Like say having a multiple service providers and having a split between them, does it add to your complexity or it gives you an advantage?
So I think if you ask my marketing team, they'll be like, we did all the effort of sort of building brand awareness, getting them to the website, getting a customer to choose what they liked over all the options. They added their address, they chose everything. You don't want to lose a single customer, right? So I think that's the first sort of objective of picking any payment gateway, right? Because we all know whether we have to collect 1 rupee, 100 rupees, 1,000, 10,000, 1 lakh. The pain that every customer has is the same. That's one thing I've learned from a few years back, saying that whether you want to collect 1 rupee or 100 rupees, people still think, however rich or poor the person is, right? So you want to make that entire process seamless. Few factors that go in, and we today operate with 2 payment gateways, which is a function of the platform which we operate in, saying that, hey, okay, we're a Shopify-based website. So first and foremost is amongst all payment gateway options, which are the ones which are compatible with the platform. Because if you're not, then I'm not going to change my platform for picking a payment gateway, very honestly, right? Second then comes is amongst all the options, while everyone claims that, failure rates are super low, the payment options and methodologies offered are super wide, I think a lot of it is chosen based on some of the brands you love, what is the payment gateway that they use, right? And that's how you pick saying, okay, so XYZ brand uses this and they're a large brand and if they're using it, I think we should probably also use it, right? Third is if you push somebody so down in the funnel and that one payment gateway you have fails, right, then it hurts a lot, right? Irrespective of whether you get 1 order a day or 1,00,000 orders a day or 1,000,000 orders a day, every customer you want to convert. So for that sole reason, we offer sort of 2 payment gateway options today, right? And I would love to sort of understand from, all the folks here, if they've experimented with just one versus the other, and does that confuse a customer or is that something which enables a customer to complete the transaction? But for us, yes, we provide 2 payment options, there's 2 payment gateway, and then within that payment gateway, whatever options are there across different methods are always there.
One related question, does facilities like BNPL, do they play a role in selecting the payment gateway?
So I think the payment gateways came first and BNPL has come in later, right? And then there are the separate BNPL players who came in saying, I'm going to offer BNPL in India. And I think I think one of them just shut shop yesterday or day before or something like that, right? So, but it's never been a criteria to choose a payment gateway partner, right? I think if somebody offers BNPL on top of it as an add-on payment method, which can get enabled from the backend, that's fine. That's how we've looked at it, right? Okay. And again, it can vary a lot. I mean, I've heard different BNPL players even pitch this as an alternative to COD, right? Saying ki, hey, as a brand, you're going to get your money, right, irrespective of what happens there, etc. But we've not chosen a payment gateway partner based on whether they offer BNPL or not. They've been there earlier. But now if I have to choose between if let's say tomorrow Shopify forces me to choose one over the other, then I will definitely use BNPL also as a criteria to say that, okay, I should add that. That's where we are, very honestly.
Absolutely. So Pranav, for you, what are your failure rates of the payments?
So I have a very clear logic on this. I think we are out here to do business with D2C. You realize the CAC rates are so high, you're spending enormous amount of money to acquire a customer, come to your website, get to the drop down, buy your product, and if it fails, then I think it's a waste of the entire marketing function that we've built, right?
Yeah.
So for us, the main criteria, of course, business end was the lowest commission rate, and of course, the failure rates of the payment gateway. So the one we are currently using, we tested out the payment gateway in a format wherein we saw 98% success ratio. So that drove us to choose one payment gateway. Apart from that, I believe commissions also are a very important part to play, right? When you scale or when you're having your ARR growing, I think that X% will make a large difference to your bottom line at the end of the day. And in the end of the day, I believe D2Cs have somewhere forgotten that profitability is a growth marker for us. I mean, I'm a personal believer of the fact that I'm here not just to build a brand, but to also make some money, right? Profitability has been evaporated in the entire concept of D2C. And I believe these certain small territories, if you capture, you will be able to certainly boost your profitability onto that segment. So for us personally, it has been a very good balance of success rate alongside the perfect partner who's able to provide a very strong commission alongside the payout model should be something that is supporting the working capital of the company. So for us, these are the three main markers for choosing a payment partner.
Wonderful. Great. So Arun, tell us what is happening in the payment space now. What are the recent innovations, or how the industry is moving? Okay. So let's have your perspective.
Yeah. I'll also, share some light on, why should a merchant or why should a D2C brand choose a partner like PayU, right? So, like all the other panelists mentioned, right? What are the three or four major reasons to choose a payment partner, right? Of course, the conversion rates are at the heart of it, right? So, we at PayU, we work with almost all category leaders and top 50, top 100 brands of Indian ecosystem. And that's because we have, worked along with them in their early years, and our dynamic switching algorithms, which is a patented algorithm, right? And over the years, it has, it now is so mature that it always throws out, best success rates. But again, why should you believe me? Everybody else will, say the same, right? But then again, we have complemented our core offering on success rates with other factors like the checkout experience which we can provide, right? Today, if you talk about cards, right, the cards experience has gone leaps, ahead of what it was 2-3 years back, right? Today, you can, do away with putting an OTP for all transactions less than 2,000, right? You can have so many BNPL options. So PayU as a checkout option, while we have our in-house Lazy Pay, which is a PayU finance with 62 million whitelisted customers, but we have Chinese walls where we are also supporting 10 other BNPL options, and that gives a whole stack of the BNPL options to all our retail customers. That coupled with the ease of managing the ops, like the refunds, chargebacks, all these are very, very relevant areas, right? And with instant refunds, we've solved each and every point in the entire 360-degree journey, from right from processing the payment till say a chargeback which is 6 months, which can be raised after 6 months as well, right? So all these things put together obviously makes a compelling thing, right? In terms of new innovations, payments is now going through a completely different completely different kind of a phase right now, with tokenization guidelines and with the payments now coming under RBI's ambit. It will, the industry will consolidate, right? And you will, all the players who call themselves a payment gateway, when they wake up in the morning, right, it will see a lot of consolidation, a lot of standardization will come in place. At the same time, we will have to develop solutions which are more customer focused, we'll have to keep investing in our core, which is, get better checkout experiences, and at the same time, give more solutions. Say, for example, we have a data insights kind of a thing. We do more than 3 million transactions on PayU platform every day, which gives, because of which we have now got data models which are helping D2C brands finding the right customers, having the right campaigns over different mediums, like not just an app or a website, also through WhatsApp, right? So WhatsApp is conversational commerce in D2C is becoming the next big thing, right? So we strive to be present at every touch point, and that's how we like to grow with our clients.
Wonderful. So tell me from the merchant side, what Arun just mentioned, that as a payment service providers, the variety of the options they are providing, the kind of insights they are willing to share. But are you guys, where you are from the adoption perspective, are you able to exploit all the features and the insights that the payment providers are able to give you? Yeah, Pradeep, maybe?
Honest answer, no. I think if you ask any, and I'm just going to broad stroke it, but if others are doing it differently, then I need to learn from them. But the amount of time teams are spending on taking out all the features and understanding all the features and making the most of it, I think the maximum still happens on Facebook, Google Ads, somewhere in the middle on Shopify from a whole funnel perspective, and very less on payment gateway. In fact, I would say our power users on payment gateway in the portals today is our folks in the finance side and folks in customer experience who have to check whether a payment, when a customer says, I made the payment, but it failed, can you check? That's the only place where it's being utilized, right? And I think, if you ask me, it's a two-way thing, right? Because I think one is, we felt it's a collection mechanism, right? And we've not looked at it as a thing where we can leverage the data for anywhere between, like, I learned something new today that, you have something on remarketing or WhatsApp conversations, etc., right? I think that's very powerful, which my team is not aware, right? So I think it's both a lack of knowledge from our side and also a sort of, some sort of marketing of all the features from payment gateway side. If that is there, because fundamentally, every funnel you want to start working from the bottom of the funnel first. You don't want to send more people from the top in a leaky funnel, right? You want to fix the bottom of the funnel first, right? Which is saying that if 100 people come to the final stage, I want to make sure all 100 convert, right? And if that is 95, then you don't want to make your 1,000 on top 10,000 coming in. So I think it's definitely a gap in our sort of system, but would love to sort of learn from others if they're doing something different, right? Because if you'd have asked me what's your failure rate, I might not even know the answer today. I would assume it's 100%, right? Or I would want it to be 100%.
I'll just add on that point, right? See, a lot of times the amount of complexity you want to build in your payments is a function of, how much effort you want to build in, right? So we have a standard checkout PayU page, which today also today the maximum business still comes from that, right? And you will be surprised at how many matured brands still use a PayU checkout, right? Rather than building something of their own, right? So again, it's the complexity you want to build at your end. If given a problem, we can definitely say that conversion rates can get improved from anywhere between 2 to 3%. And if you are on the most optimized flow on every payment option, right? And not just talking about at a whole level, but also at at each payment mode level, right? For a cards, for a UPI, the flows are so optimized today that, for example, I'll give you an example, like if you've seen Zomato's page, right? You just go there, and if your card's saved, and if mostly your transaction will be less than 2,000, you just select the card, and they have already done a Visa safe click. It goes without an OTP. Right. In less than 10 seconds, right? And that flow can be replicated for anybody who has a ticket size less than 2,000, right? So again, but that it looks very simple, but it requires a lot of effort at the back end.
Absolutely. So Abhishek, since you are like say collecting online plus you are having a offline distribution, okay, payment reconciliation, is it a challenge for you?
Major one.
How you tackle it right now, and what do you expect from your payment processor to help you in becoming efficient over there?
See, what's important for any company who is looking to scale up,
Please speak in the mic.
right? Any company who is looking to scale up to a big enough scale is that majority of the repetitive tasks get automated, right? And one of the major tasks is reconciliation, that at the end of the day, if your team of accountants is being deployed to reconcile certain entries, then it's a waste of effort and it's not scalable as such, because you need more and more manpower as you scale. So one of the key things that we are also working on with our payment provider is that how can we get to an automated reconciliation when we get payments from our vendors or customers and so on and so forth. And subsequently, how can we analyze that data about what is happening in the payment methods or the payment modes they are choosing on. So that is an area where, as a startup we are working on. Definitely is a challenge today, but as we scale up, these are some of the things which we will need to solve if we, aspire to be available in 200, 300 cities in the next 4-5 years.
So Arun, for the reconciliation, how you are addressing this issue?
Yeah. See, this is a very, very important point, right? And PayU being a global company, right, we have an India-specific integration stack. Plus also we have a PayU Global, which is you can accept payments with one integration across 17 different countries, right? So like what, Abhishek mentioned, sorry, but this is a real problem, right? And what we have done is we have moved to a completely automated payments reconciliation system at least 3-4 years back, right? And without any manual intervention, right? And what we do is we realize that a lot of recon which is done at the merchant's end is done in their formats, right? It is not standardized. So all the parameters at their end, they would want their parameters to match with what my parameters are, right? So that's why there is a lot of room for customization there, right? So for example, Airbnb. Airbnb is our global client, right? And they need reconciliation reports in the US format. But our team, builds that for them, and they upload it every day, right? So reconciliations which are specific. Also, we do a 3-way recon. So if our merchant today says that, why don't you, take this service from me? We can also do a recon at the merchant's end, right? A 3-way recon from the bank till us and then to the merchant itself. So we play a lot of, we plug a lot of gaps there, right? But then again, this remains a problem. But then if a merchant works very, very closely with us in terms of what their requirements are, we customize the solution in that manner. And we also, can give any specific, there are a lot of merchants who get specific customization reports, right? So everyday settlement reports go in the customized formats, right? So this is mostly what we do to, address this gap.
Okay. In fact, I'd like to add on that, what they've mentioned is a very real problem. We at TrueNative have also faced a lot of challenges, getting back to the RECO, and you've got these big data analytic guys sitting on these RECOs. So definitely I'd like to reach out to PayU on figuring out these customized solutions. I think it's a very important feat for any D2C brand to scale. See, at a point where you're servicing 500 orders, 600 orders a day, you're good. But the minute you pick in those 5,000 orders a day, your RECO is going to go for a toss, right? So I think these 4 systems have to be built out in a very strong format before you try to scale. Because when you're about to scale, you have a lot of marketing insights and you've got a lot of marketing spend going in. And these kind of RECO leakages at that point of time will certainly pose a challenge to your financials of the company, right? Absolutely. So I'm a strong believer that from the payment gateways and also we need some customized solutions for each and every D2C brand in the times to come. Of course, because at scale it is very, very difficult to sit with those 20,000 entries and matching it with the invoice, and this is a real world problem.
Also, one thing more to add, right? In terms of D2C, there are a lot of offers which are there, right? Bank offers. And a lot of times these are subvented either by the banks or by the merchants, or sometimes, both by banks and the merchant. It's a recon nightmare, right? After you have to process cashbacks, you have to process instant discounts. That's where also PayU comes in. We have an in-house offers engine, right? And which is being today used by say, a lot of big players, including the OnePlus and the Xiaomi's of the world, right? Where they configure specific offers on our offers engine, and everybody exactly knows how to recon, and the entire process is very, very smooth, and we give them customized reports on every sale event.
So Pradeep, just taking from what Arun just mentioned, now as a payment gateway, PayU like players are trying to provide you with a rich set of the tools, right? And you as a brand don't want to put all the eggs in the same basket. So you want to have an option of a multiple service providers. So if you take like example of this promotion engine, will you be open to like say, or how you think about building your own promotion engine versus using say payment gateways promotion engine? What will be your thought process?
Oh, no, I think we're not in that business. So if they are going to build the promotion engine, more than happy to use it, right?
Okay.
My viewpoint though is slightly different, For example, Arun said that, for Airbnb we do this, right? I always have a viewpoint that if I'm looking at a certain tool, the SaaS software, whatever, I want the enterprise grade service, whether I'm doing 1 order a day or 1,000,000 orders a day, right? Because I think that's now become the norm, right? And there are certain players who make everything smooth, whether you're a big player or a small player, right from onboarding of a new merchant onto the payment gateway to getting it started to getting it to use it is same whether you're a small player or a large player. And hence I always say, why should it be different, right? You are okay to give me something substandard earlier, but later if I'm big, I'm giving you more, then you want to do more. I think that will have to change, right? Wherein every sort of provider will have to provide the same service, whether you're doing, like I said, you're a small SME, just getting started, or a large player. So that's me from my wish list, and as founders, we always have.
Just to clarify,
we'll come to there. But before you reply, Arun, what are the other friction points that you guys see in the whole payment journey? Okay, the customer journey. Okay, now you as a customer of the payment gateway, that means you are onboarding till actually your customer on your portal or your mobile app is actually doing the transaction. So which frictions you will attribute to the payment gateway companies, and how they should address in your opinion? What is your wish list?
I think the payment companies have a very simple job, and I think they're doing a tremendous job at it. I mean, we've not had many challenges in terms of failure rates and all of that. Of course, RICO has been a challenge, and it is being managed at our end. But apart from that, I think they've grown leaps and bounds. And with these, like you rightly mentioned, the one-click OTP kind of a format which Zomato has bought in, I'm able to order something and get through the checkout process in less than a minute. But I understand I'm a regular customer at Zomato, thus I'm able to save my card, right? In a D2C funnel, you often have a lot of new customers coming in, wherein we, I think, have this feature when you can put in your phone number and access your save cards. A little step back on that one, but I still think it's a very, very strong customer journey to have your checkout complete in 30-40 seconds. In fact, I'm a fan of what Amazon has built right now. I think I have had experiences with Amazon wherein I'm able to really add it to my cart and check out in a matter of 30-40 seconds, right? So I think this is the evolution of the payments gateway, wherein the time required to process a payment once your checkout is through is what requires some amount of betterment. I would like to congratulate the leading players such as PayU, Razorpay. They've done a fantabulous job in integrating, and ease of use of these platforms is, I think, to its optimum. Today, having an integration of a payment gateway on your new website hardly takes 30 minutes. You have these keys and you put it on and you're done. So I think it's a very complex thing in the back days, which is simplified in a very good format.
In these 30 minutes, do you all agree to that? 30 minutes onboarding possible?
Yeah, I think I have experienced the same.
Anyone experience?
Yeah.
Do you agree with 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm really I'm happy if the industry has reached the level where we can onboard in 30 minutes. Okay. But otherwise, when I talk to the developer community, I hear always the stories that how they have been struggling or getting the technical support. And Arun, maybe you can address this issue as well.
Again, see, the most basic vanilla integration can happen in 30 minutes. So you have one PayU platform where you can enroll yourself to the entire journey in 30 minutes. But like I mentioned, right, the amount of complexity you want to build in your payments is a function of how long it will take, right? And again, to answer the customization question, right? So we have built the entire platform as a microservice, right? So everything, be it a recon tool or our core engineering stack, everything is not a monolithic architecture, right? So we can build out anything and give that as a microservice as well, right? And we we have a special team which only works for startups, right? And that's PayU startups. And like I mentioned, be it a, a new startup or be it an Airbnb, our services remain the same, right? It's just that if we have a customization request which is specific in nature, we obviously are also open to cater to that.
Just one question here. When you have a large customers having a huge volumes, and then you have startups which are having, like say maybe a small to small volumes, do you have a same technical infrastructure supporting both the audiences, or they are different?
Absolutely, same infrastructure.
Okay.
Again, like I told you, the option is with the merchant, right? Say for example, for a merchant who uses an app, a full stack SDK, which is around 400 KB, will give you the optimal, the best experience of PayU as it is, right? It will have all the payment options on all the optimal flows. It will have all fail safes. It will have the the backup mechanisms and all that. But again, deploying an SDK is not an easy task. It takes time and effort. If you want to just go and plug and play and start in 30 minutes, that is also available. Again, like I said, so depends on what kind of payment experience you want to give. We can range it from a very, very sophisticated from an integration standpoint, but very, very simple from a customer standpoint, to a simple plug and pay kind of a solution.
Great. So here we want to open the floor for the audience questions. Okay.
Increasingly in the new war that is going on in the world right now, one thing which has come up is their isolations of a country is as possible for payment gateways, right? I mean, how do we and how are we gearing to protect from that kind of an instrument of war?
Arun, the question is about typically if the say Western world recently the way because of the Ukraine war, the Russian payment like say payment gateways were prohibited from using MasterCard and Visa. So similar situations, how as a country, how our payment mechanisms are designed to withstand such scenarios?
See, RBI has always had a very, very strong oversight on the Indian digital payment ecosystem, right? And now with the government also focused on increasing digitization across the country, we are already seeing a massive surge in terms of RuPay issuance, right? We are not dependent on Visa and Masters of the world like we were, say, 5 to 10 years back, right? So, and this will only increase, right? The kind of infrastructure we have created on the UPI front, it is, unparalleled across the world today. And also RBI has now very, very, stringently, they have started, maybe applying all those things which they were not doing before, the localization norms for example, right? MasterCard is banned for issuing new cards, right? So they're taking this very, very seriously. And going forward, all payment players as well and the payment gateways also will come into RBI's oversight, right? We have to now apply for a license, which we have done. And, going forward, you will see more accountability, right? This was one factor which was there, right? How are payment aggregators like PayU being held accountable, right? So we will also now come under RBI's ambit. So overall, I mean, a war obviously is an extreme scenario, but we, like our PM says, we are becoming more and more Atmanirbhar in that sense. And RuPay will definitely surpass, the issuance in terms of cards. And with more and more focus on UPI, especially in the tier 2, tier 3 cities, we will see a lot more self-sustained models coming up.
Thanks. Any other question? Okay. So I think we come towards end of our conversation. It is really a very lively discussion, and I think we try to touch upon the very practical challenges that most of the merchants face, whether you are online or offline. Okay. And it's heartening to see the payment service providers are rising to the occasion by providing very powerful tool sets, trying to make the life easier for the new D2C brands to, like say, come to the market and get integrations, etc., done faster. And naturally, that means the cost of doing business is going to go lower and lower. Okay, as operations becomes more automated, more simple, and and for consumers also, that overall experience of buying something out of the D2C brands apart from the marketplaces. I think that's a wonderful thing. One last question I have for all of you is, what are your plans for ONDC? ONDC, the open standards which have been coming up for the e-commerce and payments and logistics as such. Are you looking at ONDC is going to be a game changer for you? Are you ready for adopting the ONDC standards, which is going to have a soft launch in this month? Okay, and with that, the way UPI revolutionized the payments, the ONDC will revolutionize maybe the whether it's a discovery to the transaction to the logistics part of the overall the commerce play. Okay. Any views on this?
So I have a general view on this whole thing, that I think the government or a country and the private players as such have had a very large impact on being a far-sighted economy. Years ago, when we held no importance to these, war kind of a sanction and all of that, we didn't realize these things could threaten our payment gateways such as Visa, MasterCard, that has happened in Russia today. We have built a very strong, as a country, we've built a very strong mechanism to hold our own fort, right? Today we have UPI, which is having, other countries coming in to adopt, right? Apart from that, you have your RuPay cards, which is gathering about two-thirds of the market share today. So Visa has gone back and complained to the American government that we are having monopolistic issues. But I think every sovereign country has a right to choose their own fort, and in times of crisis, these things really do play a role. I think Atmanirbhar Bharat is a vision that has really, it was sounding something which is difficult to achieve, but I think all of us personally in our lives have somewhere seen the growth journey as a country. So I think even the ONDTC that we're talking about, new policy adoption does take a little while, but I'm sure with the evolution of the businesses and the country as a whole, we are ready for all that comes along our way.
Great. Thanks, Pranav. So I think we see the payments becoming more simpler, more mature, reconciliation becomes more automated, and our failure rates dropping maybe like as time passes. Okay. So with this, we come to the conclusion of this session. You have been a very patient audience, and just before lunch, spending time in this hall is a bit difficult. So thank you very much for your attention and presence. And my dear panelists, thank you very much for your wholehearted participation. Thank you.